A campaign mood is gripping the country ahead of next year's general election, but the 2012 polls that will be the first in the new constitutional order will be radically different from any other elections held in the country's history. The Elections Bill 2011, that is on the final preparatory stages before it's tabled in Parliament, seeks to streamline the country's electoral process. For starters, next year's polls will be larger.
The major difference will be that people will be getting 6 ballot papers instead of the usual 3. Reason being that there are 3 more elective positions that have been introduced in the Constitution. And the 3 new seats are Senator, Governor, and the Women's Special Seat.
On the presidential vote, the Elections Bill 2011 makes proposals that could complicate matters for presidential aspirants. They will be required to name their running mates well in advance before they can be cleared to run for the country's top job.
They must go on to the end. So for the presidential election, if there's a rerun, they cannot change. They cannot change their deputy, and they go to the rerun with the same deputy that they started with initially.
However, the Elections Bill proposes that a presidential candidate can choose a running mate from another political party, but in a clearly defined pre-election structure. This proposal is meant to deal with the question of dishonored pre-election agreements, or MOUs.
In the absence of a coalition agreement, then 2 people from 2 different parties are not going to be able to run.
Party hopping by aspirants just before elections, especially if they fail to clinch a party's nomination, could be a thing of the past, as the bill proposes that parties submit their list of members to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission at least 3 months before the election.
So the issue of party hopping has been tightened in this bill, in that there is no room for changing parties. Once the 60 days for general elections starts rolling, you cannot change parties.
The bill also proposes stiff penalties for those who engage in vote buying during electoral processes. Those found guilty will be liable to a 1 million shillings fine or a 6-year jail term. And for those who register as voters more than once, they could find themselves behind bars for at least 1 year or liable to a 100,000 shillings fine. The Elections Bill contains critical proposals that could radically alter the management of next year's general election. But members of Parliament will have the final say when the document comes to the floor of the House. Francis Gachuri, Citizen Live at 9, Nairobi.